In his senior year, Jason enrolled in the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, where he developed a business idea selling locker skins for students to express themselves in their school's hallways. This business concept led Jason to win the nationwide Yay Saunders Scholars Bright Ideas competition and a scholarship to RIT. Over the next 4 years, Jason would drive his business to offer skins for various electronic devices, licensed with over 50 colleges, and sell products in Barnes & Noble college stores across the nation. Jason received a bachelor's degree in business administration from RIT in 2014. Shortly after, Jason took a step back from his entrepreneurial endeavors to pursue a career in marketing and has worked at Spoon Events for the past 4 years. He currently lives in Ontario with his wife, Rachel, and newborn son, Turner. In his spare time, Jason enjoys woodworking, playing volleyball, and spending time with his family. It is my pleasure to introduce Jason.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Mahoney, Dr. Van Scoy, and the Gananda School District for inviting me to speak today. Before I begin, I think we have a few graduates today that are joining the military. Can you please stand up? I'd also like to thank my wife, Rachel, because if it weren't for her and narrowing down my speech, I might be up here for over an hour talking to you today. So thank you, Rachel. So my son Turner was born 2 months ago. It's a great feeling being a dad. I've got this little guy that looks up to me every day. He loves me so much, and I find it really exciting that I get to watch him grow up. I get to teach him how to use his manners, use a big boy potty, ride a bike. I'll let Uncle Patrick teach him how to throw a football, but I'll try to do my best to teach him the rest. It's also kind of scary being a dad, you know? Like there's so much that I just don't know that I have to learn along the way. We went on about a 3-hour car ride this past weekend, and you wouldn't know we were only gone for about 12 hours because we packed for like a week, because we just didn't know what we were supposed to bring. But he's got to sleep a certain way in his crib. His bottles can't be too hot or too cold. And sometimes Turner starts crying, and I don't really know why, and I don't think he does either. I didn't read any parenting books, but honestly, I think the only way someone can really grasp how to be a parent is to just experience it and figure it out day by day. So in preparation for fatherhood, I looked back at the past 10 years or so and reflected on some of the lessons that I've learned that I could share with Turner. As I collected these thoughts, I remember saying to myself, man, it would have been great to have known all of this way back when. And when I say way back when, I don't mean, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 26 years ago. I mean at the end of high school, right where all of you are today. For most of you, the jump from high school to the next chapter in life is going to be the biggest change you've had in your life thus far. Up until now, life has been pretty routine. You wake up, you go to school, you go to work, you go to practice, do your homework, go to bed. All the way from kindergarten until where you are today. Your parents, your teachers, and your coaches have scheduled your days and helped guide you through life up until now. But things are about to change. You'll find yourself having to set your own alarm to wake up to go to class. Nobody's there to force you to study when all of your friends are playing Fortnite. Please study. And you'll need to find the motivation to go to the gym now that you don't have the sports you once played keeping you in shape. You may have heard of the freshman 15. It's real. I turned it into the freshman 25. Now, don't get me wrong, the next chapter of life is really exciting, you're gonna love it. But there's all very new things that you're about to see, and the unknown of what's ahead can be a bit scary, kind of like how I'm feeling with fatherhood. So today, I'm here to share with you advice that I wish I had known way back when, and the same advice I'll be giving Turner as he grows up. But before I can share this advice, I'll need to share a bit of a background story. Back in high school, I tried my hardest to stand out. I wore a pink hat every day. I wore bright neon Hollister shirts. I painted myself blue and went to the volleyball games and basketball games. There was a talent show that I went up on stage and smashed oranges on my head, and that was my talent. That was it. It was no talent at all. It was fun. But I was just always trying to find ways to stand out from everybody else, no matter what it was. At the same time, we're asked to kind of think about what we want to do after high school. Finding a career path, what we want to go to college for. And I didn't know what exactly I wanted to go to college for, I just knew it was going to be something business related. At the same time, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had this great vision that I was going to invent things and run my own business and set my own path. So in my senior year, there was an elective class offered called the Young Entrepreneurs Academy. It was a program which helped students turn ideas into businesses. At the end of the program, there was a nationwide Shark Tank-like competition where we would ask investors for money to start our business, and the finalists would receive scholarships on top of their funding. I felt like this was perfect. It was a class that was offered just for me. I started shuffling through the ideas that I had thought up over the years, and I decided I was going to create full-size decals for school lockers. These skins were going to be removable, came in several designs, and gave students a way to express themselves in the hallways amongst their peers, just like I've always done. Sorry, just like I always tried to do, I always do. Well, that business took off. The idea developed, and I won the Gananda investor panel, standing about 15 feet right where I am right now. After that, I won the regional investor panel competition, and eventually I took first place in the national competition over 500 other businesses. I received way more funding from the investors than I had asked for, and I was awarded a scholarship to RIT. I was in preliminary talks with Staples to try to get our locker skins on store shelves before next school year. Thank you, Mrs. Finnegan, for helping set that up. I met with athletic directors at Buffalo State and Cortland, and we had plans to put custom locker skins on every student athlete's lockers. And even producers from PBS flew all the way out from California to feature me in the business on Biz Kids, one of their national television shows. Everything just seemed to be falling into place, and it was great. This brings me to our first piece of advice for all of you. Be the person you want to be, and everyone around you will view you as that person. Be confident in who you are and passionate about what you do. I was where all of you are now, just a high school student, trying to make it seem like I'm the next Bill Gates. I'm standing in front of these investors, asking them for their own money so I can pursue my dreams. Perception is everything, though. I made these people see me as the person I wanted to be, rather than the high school student that I was. Due to all of this success early on, I was perceived to be this guy that had it all figured out. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. We ended up only selling about 50 locker skins that first year, most of which came from family and friends. I couldn't get my costs down to be able to sell them into the Staples stores at the price point that they wanted to. My meetings with Buffalo State and Cortland didn't amount to much more than a few samples that I had given them. And being on BizKids spiked their website traffic, but it didn't generate any sales. I was frustrated. The business just wasn't growing as I was expected. I was doing the math to see how many skins I needed to sell each month to keep the business afloat. I found myself plugging in the numbers that I wanted to see rather than what was reality. This locker skins concept just wasn't working as I envisioned it, and for the first time in my journey, I felt like I had failed. These skins just cost too much for students to buy. They weren't that easy to install, and with all of my efforts trying to push this idea, it didn't seem like it was as popular of an idea as I had thought. My second piece of advice to you is to fail. Each time you fail is an opportunity to grow and learn from your mistakes. When you fail in something that you're passionate about, it's not due to a lack of effort. Chances are you tried your hardest, and it just didn't pan out as you had envisioned. And if and when you fail, don't give up, but instead reflect on why you failed, and what you could have done differently so you can get up and try again. So that's what I did. I learned from my struggles, and I decided to change directions in a couple of ways. First, I changed the product. Instead of selling skins for lockers, I began making skins for popular electronics like phones and laptops. These skins were less expensive, easy to install, and it appealed to more people than just middle and high school students. Second, I realized that I couldn't build this business on my own. Before this point, I was the graphic designer, and the marketer, and the salesman, and the accountant. And I was wearing too many hats, and I struggled to keep everything all straight. So my third piece of advice to you is to surround yourself with those who make you a better person. I asked my friend if he wanted to join me on this journey. He was a finance major at RIT, and I would say he was and still is one of the smartest guys I know. He came on board and took over the business finances, something I wasn't very good at. At the same time, I hired a couple of interns to help with graphic design and sales. I surrounded myself with a group of mentors, and we met with them weekly to make sure we were sticking to our goals and reaching them. This change of direction really seemed to gain some traction. Through my new network of mentors, we began licensing with colleges across the U.S., making skins for 53 schools nationwide, and we also became members of Barnes & Noble college bookstores and sold skins in 25 stores in 13 states. It was finally satisfying to see my business start to grow, especially when just a few months ago, it felt like I had failed. I couldn't have done this without the help of others. So if you want to be a movie director or a graphic designer or an engineer, then go be that person. In doing so, people will perceive you as the person you want to become. Go all in, learn new things, find a hobby or an internship related to those interests. You will fail, and that's a good thing, because when you do, you'll have the opportunity to learn from your mistakes. Try again, and ultimately become a better person. Find a mentor or a professor that you can learn from beyond the classroom. Find friends with common goals and good habits that will push you towards your success. Turner, I'll do my best to give you this advice and more. I want you to be whoever you want to be. I want you to fail so you can learn from your mistakes and better yourself. Because one day, you'll be sitting here. I want you to feel loved by your family and make the greatest of friends as you grow up. Because one day, you'll be sitting right here, eager to make your mark on the world just as these graduates are today. Congratulations to the class of 2019. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a diaper to change.